For a while, we were calling this gathering the science of deliberate creation. Science because it's ongoing and you get better and better at the discovery of it. And because once you discover something and you establish that solid basis within you, it provides the next jumping off place for more and more and more and more and more. Deliberate because you want to be deliberate about what you're thinking about. Creating by default is no fun at all. If you're just talking to anybody who talks to you and flowing your vibration all over the place and thinking about what you want in the absence of it and talking about the good and the bad and the things that you want and the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, then you've got your vibration all jacked up. Esther's new term. Not new to you, new to her. So when your vibration is all out of whack like that, then you have no reasonable control over how your life is unfolding, and you have a rough ride. So we want you to understand that through your life you have defined, even without words often, at every level of your being, improvements. You were born to do that. You came into this physical time-space reality with a very clear intention of sifting through in order to determine your personal preferences and improvements. And you do that all day, every day, whether you know that you are or not. When someone is rude, you want a nicer world. When you're rude, you want a nicer world. When you don't have enough of something you want more of it. When you've got something you don't want, you want an improvement in that situation. In other words, all day, every day, you are defining your desires. It's why we like to begin. Do you know what you are wanting? But that's only a small part of the equation, because defining it and being a vibrational match to it are two different things. And your words, no matter how much you say the words of what you want, the universe is not hearing your words. The universe is responding to your vibration. An easy way to understand that is the universe isn't listening to what you say you want. The universe is responding to your vibrational practice about it. So if you really want something, but you really doubt it, and the dominant vibration within you is, it's not working and I don't know how to make it work, and the feeling within you is one of being lost about it, the universe cannot deliver to you a path that's going to be an easy path to it, because you've got a frequency going on that is making it not possible for you to realize the path. And today, we would like to say to you that, yes, indeed, you create your own reality. But there's a word that we would like to insert that will make it easier for you to understand. You create your perception of reality. You create your perspective of reality. You create your vibrational ability to see reality. You realize reality based upon what you are doing vibrationally. So, have you ever watched a documentary, or have you ever been in the experience yourself, where you were an eyewitness to something that someone else was an eyewitness to? And since you were an eyewitness to it, you have a perspective of what happened. And as you explain your perspective, you're sure you're right because you saw what you saw. You perceived it. And then someone else explained what they saw, and what they saw was something different than what you saw. And you're sure they're lying because what you saw is very valid and real to you. If there is anything that we would like to present to you in a way and find enough analogies and examples to help you really get it, something that would serve you better than all other things put together that you will ever hear from us or anyone else, it would be that your perspective is uniquely yours. And if you could give up your determination to explain yourself in enough different ways to get other people to see it the way you see it, oh, life would begin being sweet for you right now. If you could just accept that everybody gets to create their version of reality, and that you will waste your life in trying to get them to accept your version. Because the life that they have lived and the vibration that they're offering is the reason that they see it as they see it. You can live in the same community and have two very different lives. And what most of you say is, well, of course we live different lives. That guy lives in a mansion and I don't. Of course his perspective is different than mine. That guy inherited money from his daddy and I didn't. Of course we have different perspectives. That person was born As you try to explain why you are not all living the same, you miss the only point that matters. You have different perceptions of reality over which you have complete control. But most humans do not exercise any control over your perception of reality because you're so busy dividing and defining and cataloging and pigeonholing reality into different piles and placing judgment upon it. Oh, that's a bad thing. Let's put all those bad things over there and those bad things over there, and they're different in their badness, but they're bad things. And as you spend that natural time defining whether you want it or not, you also, without meaning to, practice the vibrational frequency of the very things that you put in the bad piles. And then, because it's part of your vibration, it prevents you from discovering the good piles, because your vibration's all wrapped up in what's in the bad piles. And then, we love you so much. You know what's coming next after that statement. And then, you look to something outside of you to make the difference. You look for someone else to fix it. It started with your mother or your father or someone up close to you. Please change this condition. There is a condition in my reality that I see that I don't like. And when I look at that condition, I feel bad. And I don't want to feel bad. That's the first thing you knew about yourself. You don't like feeling bad. So when you're looking at a condition and you feel bad and you associate feeling bad with that condition, then of course it's logical, we get it, why you want that condition to change. But you are not the boss of those conditions. You are not the creator of someone else's reality. You cannot control the conditions. You are the creator of your own reality. So as we're visiting with you about creating your own perception of reality, it may feel to you that we are trying to teach you how to control the conditions of your life. That isn't what we are wanting to teach you at all. We want to teach you to control your alignment with your broader perspective, because that's where your happiness is. The success that you're seeking is alignment. But then we have to say to you that once you consistently find that alignment, the conditions of your life will meld and mold and become vibrational matches to the frequency that you are predominantly offering. So you will change the conditions, but we want to say to you, you can't let the changing of conditions be the motive for the reason that you are finding alignment, because if the changing of a condition is the motive behind finding the vibrational alignment, now your attention is upon the condition and you cannot get there from there. You cannot get there from there. Then you step into what you call tolerance. You just put up with it. You fool yourself. You kid yourself. You use words. You get a smile on your face. Say happy sounding things while you are emitting a vibration that is different from that. That doesn't work out very well, does it? So here's the basic statement that we want you to hold in your mind as you are moving forward forevermore. The universe does not hear what you say. The universe hears what you mean. And what you mean is what you're offering vibrationally. And you know what you mean by the way you feel. So if you are feeling uncomfortable about something, you have some refocusing to do in order to bring the discomfort into comfort. And as you begin to discover that you have the ability to bring yourself into that comfortable alignment, oh, then so many things that you've been wanting will flow into your experience. You began saying things to us such as, Abraham, I'll accept your odd version of all of this. I can accept that I was something before I was this. And I'll even accept that that something still exists and that there is some relativity to it. And I guess I can accept that my emotions speak to that relationship. And I'll play your silly game. Okay, there's a vortex. There's a vortex and everything I want is in it. So Abraham, how do I get my money out of the vortex and into the bank? That's what I really want to know. And it's really what we want you to know. There's no satisfaction. You're physical beings. You've come forth into this physical time-space reality. You are creators. You have come to manifest things. It is never our intention to get you to just be happy with the vibrational version of things. We just want you to know that the vibrational version of things exists and that it does have a frequency and that you've got to feel yourself to the frequency before there is a match and before it can be realized by you. If you want money and you're complaining about not having enough, your money is not going to come out of the vortex into your bank account because there is too much vibrational discord going on with you. So over time, we've been explaining lots of different ways. You got to find the feeling of the money. And you say to us, and we understand, how can I find the feeling of something that isn't? And we say, but you see, you've trained yourself so conditionally. You have been such responders to conditions that you don't realize that you could respond to a vibration and create a condition. You did not come to face reality. You came to create reality. But you can't create a new reality while you've got your undivided attention upon the reality that exists. If you let what is be the reason that you offer the vibration that you offer, it's just going to keep repeating itself. Different places, different faces. Same scenario over and over and over and over again. You don't need our word for that. You know it. You've been living it, haven't you? Different places, different faces, but not much shifting. If you just keep looking at what is and talking about what is and joining groups that also are agreeing about what is, as you keep talking about what is and how much you don't like what is and how long you've been living what is that you don't want to live what is and how many others are living the same what is that you don't want and how somebody else should do something about changing the condition about what is so that you could just observe what is and feel better. And we say, give it up. Give it up. You're only going to continue to perpetuate what is. And a lot of what is pretty sweet, isn't it? There's a lot of what is that you want to continue. There's a lot of what is that is good as it is and is getting better all the time. There is a lot of what is that is really the way you want it to be. But there is some of what is that is not the way you want it to be. And those things, you've got to get your attention off of the what isness of them and onto the vibrational essence of what you are seeking. If you were really tuned in to who you are, there would be one frequency. It's the frequency of who you are, not a frequency of wanted and belief. When you want something that you doubt, you've got two frequencies going on. And the reason that you have two frequencies going on is because in the moment you identify something as a desire, the larger part of you becomes fixated on that desire. So when the larger part of you is focused upon what you want, but you are in any moment in time focused upon its absence or its unlikelihoodness, we're playing with Esther because she was editing something yesterday, and she said to us on more than one occasion, Abraham, you've got to stop making up words. And we said to her, you're the one drawing the dirty pictures. That's an old joke that Esther and Jerry told each other almost every day. Esther is the one who finds the words, and she's reaching for the word that really means what we mean. And sometimes it's necessary to add extra syllables on words to really make the point. So when you get it, that you are an extension of Source and that in every moment you have a relationship with that Source, then life becomes easier because your guidance becomes clearer. And when your guidance is clear, and we want to be very clear about what that guidance is about. It's not about someone thinking you should do something different or that you should be something different. It's about you having defined who you want to be and the guidance within you just helping you to feel the path of most allowance, which is the same thing as the path of least resistance to that. You're sort of following what we're getting at? You are the one who has sifted through life, who has defined who you really are and what you really want. And then the Source within you is just holding that frequency steady so that you can feel your way to it. Esther remembers playing a game as a child and then later with her own grandchildren, the hot and cold game, where someone hides something and then they tell you whether you're warmer or colder in relationship to it. And if the person who hid it knows where it is, and usually they remember, and is letting you know what your physical proximity to it is by the simple warmer, colder.